Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I am in my December project. I am almost finished with this bad boy. I have got Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day to do, and I will be finished. Christmas Eve, which is a legit holiday in our family, is going to be on the back of story 22 over here, which doesn't really have a lot of story with it. It's just some Starbucks cups. Yeah, I was going to include this tiny gift card on here as well. It came in a tiny red apron, but I think I'm going to put the gift card back in the little red apron and actually tell a story in my 12 by 12 album with that. So anyway, Christmas Eve is going to be on this side, and it is going to be our dinner plans for the holiday. So let's see what I can do.
All right, guys, as you can see, I had started working on this layout before I had pressed record on the iPad and didn't even realize that I hadn't done it until I stood up to go get something. And sure enough, had to hit that record button. So I am building up over here on this 4x6 card. As you can see, it has kind of been cut in half with some Santa bits there. And I'm going to cover that up. Now, in my December project, there is always one day that I talk about the food that we eat over the holidays. And normally, Christmas Eve is as big of a holiday, food-wise, as the other days. However, it did not go that way this year. I don't even remember what we had on Christmas Eve right now, but it wasn't big. It wasn't a meal. It wasn't something we had to prepare. So anyway, for this 4x6 card, as you can see, I'm covering up that Santa bit. I did put another rub-on on there. I've got the tickets and the tags, and I'm adding some greenery. I just really want just something really fun and decorative right here. Now, this is going to be one of the very few stories that gets a title. I thought there was going to be a lot more titles this year because I even had the little letter stickers to do it. And I think I've titled 2 now in this album. And that is fine, right? Sometimes you've got a plan in your head and it goes awry. And sometimes you get a plan in your head and it goes exactly to plan. Just this one just did not go exactly to plan. I am using this cork fa la la, and it's going to say fa la la food, just so that I can talk about the food. I can't have a naked tag hole, so I'm going to use my tiny attacher to staple on this burlap ribbon. And then I'm going to put the numbers on as well. Now, I am going to heat emboss these numbers with that Brutus Monroe gilded embossing powder. By far my favorite embossing powder in the entire world. And just look, take a little gander over on the left side of the screen. Look how many of those laser cuts that I have used up. If you couldn't tell, I'd used a lot of product during this project. I have used a lot of product during this project. She's a thick album, you guys, and I am finished with it now. The videos will be going up, so by the end of the year, the December project will be completely up on YouTube, and then starting in January, we're going to go into some other things because I have literally scrapbooked nothing but the December project this month. And I know that turns off some people. Some people escape to YouTube to watch something a little bit different than holiday festivities, but this is what works for me. And you guys have loved this project so much. So much. Okay, so I've got that down, the 23, and then the fa la la. Gonna adhere that down as well. That was adhesive backed cork. I wanted a place to figure out where the heck I was going to put that house kind of sticker piece there. And then also the berry and the, what are those little things called? Little doodad hangy thingies that, tassels. Wow. Wow. So anyway, like I said, I'm using some of the tiny little letter stickers, and I didn't realize that the two greens were two different color greens on food, so I had to fix that so that my greens was all one color. It looked like, I don't think you could have noticed the color right here on the video, but when I was looking at it, I was like, ooh, that's rough. So then I was like, do I want to put even more stuff over here? Do I want to really just fill this card? And I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and put these berries in there too, because they've been hanging out on the desk. They've been trying to get on a couple different layouts, and they haven't made it. So let's go ahead and get that bad boy in there. Now I am going to use this last envelope piece. I love these. These are so much fun. They're so easy to make a pocket. So easy to make a pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and then I'm going to make a pocket where the pocket is going to be the menu for Christmas Eve, Christmas breakfast, and Christmas dinner. Now I did work on Christmas Eve. I was off on Christmas Day, and it was great, right? Like, it was fabulous. Fun fact, the only 2 days this past week that I did not cut and work on orders was Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I did take off from working on those 2 days on orders. I am down to about 120 stencils left to cut. When I say that the response was overwhelming, it was overwhelming. I've never had this big of a response to a sale before. It's kind of amazing and daunting and all of the things. But I appreciate it so much, and yeah. My plan was to have a New Year's sale on product only. No stencils, no cutting. Not sure if I'm going to do that yet. Or if it's going to be a little bit later. I don't know yet. I've got to figure that out. My goal is to get everything cut and out this week, including Stencil of the Month, which is also behind. So there is that. Yeah. So that's what's going on with orders. Anyway, I did take that, what is that called? That rub-on, and placed it over top of that envelope. And I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this. I'm liking this. I have this big label. And that big label is where I'm going to write the menus. And then I have the tag, which is going to be permanently attached to the card, just so that that decoration is there. So there's a little peek of something when the card is there, and if you pull the card out to read it, then there will be some decoration again, without it just being that little plaid 3x4 card. So I've got that. I've decided to put the twine in and knot it. Guys, let me just tell you, I don't know what the heck I did, but for the past week and a half or so, I have had this horrendous pain on my right side, and I pulled something, I pinched something, I don't know, but like I'm tender and I'm sore. I think I'm just getting old, right? Like, is that all it is? Am I just getting old? That might be it. So anyway, I'm writing down the menu stuff here for Christmas Eve. Now, Christmas Eve dinner was fabulous. Christopher really took over most of the cooking on Christmas Eve. He made chicken cordon bleu and a cream sauce to place on top of it. It's so freaking delicious. I made double stuffed, twice baked potatoes. We had broccoli. I think that's what we had. Yeah. Christmas breakfast, we did our egg bake. We had bacon, Entenmann's donuts, and orange juice because I forgot the sparkling bubbly to make mimosas. Forgot to buy it. And then Christmas night for dinner, we had a prime rib roast and my homemade au gratin potatoes and some shrimp. Man, it was good food, you guys. Good food. Our dinners, I will say, have gotten a little smaller over the years as we have changed our eating habits. We don't eat a whole heck of a lot of bread anymore. Not any pasta. You know, and I just feel better when I don't eat a lot of bread and pasta. And I don't think there's any kind of like gluten allergy or something. Like I've told this to a couple people and they're like, "Oh, you probably have a gluten allergy." I don't think it's that. But I just feel better when I eat differently, right? Like it just makes me feel better. So anyway, yeah. Now this card right here, this Merry Christmas card, I am going to kind of liven it up by layering up these die cut florals on it because it did feel a little bit plain, even though the card is beautiful and I love it and you could totally pop that into an album. It just felt plain compared to everything else in my album, right? Like there wasn't enough oomph behind it. So I went ahead and layered up these die cuts and placed them onto the page. Now I don't know if I do this after the camera stops or if I did it before, but I will tell you that I decided that that's still not enough. So after I finish getting these guys figured out where they need to go and placed down, and I like the placement, I'm actually going to pop them up and put some pop foams on them. And just give it some extra dimension on the card. And I really think that that makes a difference because, like I said, this project, this December project for 2024 is very much, right? Is definitely more is more. It's a very muchly project. And just having that card with the bits over top of them wasn't enough for me. Like it definitely needed that extra oomph. And you know, you got to do what you got to do for your project. I have been watching / listening to YouTube videos while I am cutting or while I'm in the scrapbook room or while I'm cooking or while I'm trying to like get in some content into my head, and I have seen some really awesome projects this month that are very clean line, straightforward, simple, literally photos and cards just in an album in a page protector, and they're beautiful. But like I said, this one's a muchly project for me. So maybe the photos coming up, yep, you can see I added some dimension and also some tiny heart confetti. All right, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Thanks for listening to me ramble and go off topic a couple different times. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.